Welcome to Kaczynski on Cars. Today I have one of the best Toyota products that no one is buying. This is the 2026 Toyota Crown Platinum. Before I go further, I do want to thank the kind people at Sarah Toyota of Saginaw for providing this vehicle for me to review for you guys. This one is available under MSRP, so if anyone is interested in a luxury vehicle, give Sam a call or a text. He'd be more than happy to help you out. But let's get into the review. So what is the Toyota Crown and what is the Platinum? Well, the Toyota Crown replaced the Toyota Avalon as it was not selling very well, but they took a little bit of a different approach. They basically took the idea of an Avalon and then kind of mixed that with a crossover. So this is kind of a crossover, if you will. It is about 4 inches taller than a Camry or an Avalon is, and it definitely adopts the more lift back design, which I think is very, very attractive. That said, don't let it fool you, it is not a lift back. It is just a normal sedan. Now, what is the Platinum? The Platinum is going to be the top trim version of the Crown, meant to compete kind of with Lexus products as well as other potentially Asian and or German luxury sedans. The Platinum gives you a bespoke powertrain, adaptive suspension, as well as a ton of goodies inside. I'm going to propose too, the reason why this thing isn't selling isn't because it's not a good car, but it's because it wears a Toyota badge and not a Lexus badge. But let's take a look at the trunk first thing. Naturally, this being a large sedan, you do have a ton of space. And one thing that the Crown Platinum specifically does get you is going to be a power trunk. So, you click the button on the outside and it whirs right open. You have a good amount of space back here. Those 2 seats do fold 60-40. You do have your 12-volt battery back here, as well as a spare tire, which is quite nice, especially for vehicles and any modern vehicle in this segment. And then once you're done, you can just click the button and the trunk will whir right back down, because Lord forbid you have to open and close your own trunk. Let's go over into the back seat. Naturally, this being a large sedan, you have a decent amount of space back here. Lots of legroom, a decent amount of headroom. The panoramic glass roof does cut into headroom a little bit. Your seats are heated back here. You do have vents as well as 2 USB-C ports, and then you also have a nice center console with cup holders in it. This is a very, very nice place to be, assuming you don't have a very tall torso. Outside of that, though, I would actually love to spend a lot of time back here for a long road trip. You also do get cool headrests that kind of cradle your head. So, little things from Lexus that Toyota stole to make their flagship sedan. But let's check out up front. Being that this vehicle is about 4 inches taller than an Avalon or a Camry, it makes ingress and egress incredibly easy. Now, that's not really an issue for people of my age, but for the demographic of people that are buying this vehicle, it is very, very nice. You are greeted with Toyota's corporate 12.3-inch touchscreen, as well as their 12-inch multimedia display right here, which is very nice. Very simple, very easy to use. Once again, not the sexiest unit on the market, but it is a great system to have CarPlay, and it all looks very good. You're also greeted with a nice physical row of climate controls, which is a breath of fresh air in this segment, and then you do have a nice wireless charger. This does come complimentary of a lovely micro shifter, which save up space in the console. At the end of the day, I wouldn't want it any larger. Here you have drive mode selector, and then you do have a nice felt-lined center console that does open both ways. Thank you, Lexus. Materials in here are very nice. Everything is soft touch. Everything is wrapped in leather. Everything feels very, very well built. I am a fan. This also does have the JBL sound system, which sounds good. Trebles are good. Mids are solid. The bass is a little bit muddy. but it's not a bad audio system, it's just not class leading. This also does come up with a heads-up display, heated steering wheel, and heated and cooled seats. So, very nice cabin to be in. Let us check out the powertrain to see what this thing has under the hood. Powering the Crown is one of two options. In the Crown Platinum, you have a 2.4 liter turbocharged hybrid system called the Hybrid Max. In the XLE in the Limited, you just get a regular 2.5 liter 4-cylinder combined with a hybrid system. That's going to be more of Toyota's bread and butter, what they're normally used to doing. This is newer stuff. So what is it? Obviously, you have the engine part. This is a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, and it is connected to an electric motor, and then that is also connected to a 6-speed single wet clutch automatic. And then out back, you do have about an 80 horsepower, 120 foot-pound of torque electric motor that is exclusively running the rear wheels, Toyota's all-wheel drive. And then all that hybrid system is connected to a nickel metal hydride battery. What does that all mean for you? That means about 340 horsepower and 400 pound-foot of torque, and then anywhere from about 28 to 30 miles to the gallon. But enough of my rambling, let's take it for a drive and see if it accomplishes its luxury sedan mission. Alrighty, starting off in the Crown Platinum. Before we get going, this does have Toyota's famous panoramic view monitor where you can see all around you, and you do also have a myriad of drive modes: Sport, Normal, Eco, Rear Comfort, and Custom. Let us start in Rear Comfort. And then front camera, and then once you put it in reverse, there's your rear camera with trajectory lines. Before I will get started with impressions, I want to have a philosophical conversation about the Crown as a whole, and kind of acknowledge its odd place in the market. This is an SUV crossover sedan thing that is gunning for the premium market without a premium badge. But I'm going to propose that it either A, deserves a premium badge, or B, anyone interested in a luxury sedan should swallow their pride and consider something with a non-premium Toyota badge, because if you don't, you'd be missing out on a really, really great vehicle. Alright, so enough talking philosophically. What does this car actually like to drive? Let's start with the powertrain. Reminder, 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder connected to one electric motor in between the 6-speed wet clutch automatic, as well as a electric motor out back. Long story short, this is an amazing powertrain, and it is the reason to buy the Crown. This powertrain is incredibly effortless. You feel all 400 foot-pounds of torque, all at quarter, half throttle. It moves this car absolutely effortlessly. And yes, this is technically the same 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that is used across Toyota's new portfolio. So Land Cruiser, 4Runner, Tacoma, all have the same powertrain. That said, in the Crown, it is by far the most refined application. I don't know if it's a combination of the Hybrid Max system, the sound insulation, motor mounts. I don't know what it is, but this motor is incredibly refined. And that same feeling of refinement goes on to the transmission. which is kind of weird given the fact that there's no torque converter and it's not an ECVT. Usually dual clutch and single clutch automatics are either jerky, have hesitance between gear changes, and they're tuned more for performance than a luxury sedan. And this just isn't the case. Between the electric motor up front, the electric motor out back, it smooths out all of the jitteriness or the hesitation there might be with clutch engagement. And it is really, really well done. I've yet to feel a rough shift. I've yet to feel a hesitation when the clutches are engaged. I am very, very impressed. Now, talking about ride quality, this car continues the exact same personality of the powertrain in smoothness, opulence, and effortlessness. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was very worried when the Crown came out for the first time, especially the Platinum, because the Platinums come standard with 21-inch wheels with Michelin primacies that might as well be painted on. Now, does that scare me for potholes and blowing out your tire? Absolutely. But I don't know how Toyota pulled it off, but this thing rides as if it has 18-inch wheels on it. It is really, really smooth. You feel almost none of the bumps or the rough edges of Michigan's carpet-bombed pavement, which is so impressive. Moving on to road noise and wind noise, all of that is very, very low. You do not have to raise your voice to have conversations in this car. It is a very, very quiet automobile. Probably the quietest vehicle that rides on the TNGA-K platform. Now that we are out of the city, let's get this Crown Platinum up to highway speeds and see how she does. And the effortless theme continues. So, just like almost every modern Toyota product, this does have Toyota Safety Sense 3.0. What that is, that's adaptive cruise control, that's active lane tracing, that's automatic emergency braking, and blind spot monitoring. Now, with the Platinum models, you also do get a couple other goodies. You get traffic jam assist, as well as frontal cross traffic alert. The traffic jam assist is basically a hands-off driving that under 25 miles an hour will do all the work for you, not unlike Tesla's full self-driving, or autopilot I should say, but it does have that 25 mile an hour limitation. On the highway, the luxury car theme absolutely continues in this vehicle. It is incredibly quiet. I can lower my voice and everyone in the cabin can still hear me. And the ride at higher speeds continues to be very, very well composed. The autonomous driving systems work very well, with exception of front cross traffic alert. That is wildly obnoxious, and I can't stand it. And I haven't found a way to successfully turn it off. That said, I haven't tried that hard, so if you know of a way to do it, let me know down in the comments. That said though, let's see how the Crown Platinum can dance. This does have sport mode with the adaptive variable suspension, and it does have a manual mode with paddle shifters behind the wheel. Because it is a single clutch automated manual, it does rev match, and it feels pretty good. First things first, this car's heavy. It weighs about 4,300 pounds, and it doesn't hide it. It has a substantial amount of body roll and nosedive, so don't go thinking this is going to be a BMW 5 Series. That said, it feels very controlled. The steering has good weight to it, albeit quite numb. But with this having Toyota's e-all-wheel drive, it does power out of corners very, very well. While this transmission does respond very well, it does also do a great job of denying the upshifts. But upshifts are very, very quick. Another thing I want to comment on that I just never thought I would in this car is throttle response. I personally own a 24 Subaru WRX, and the difference between throttle response between this and my WRX is night and day. This responds so much faster. Now, yes, it does have the electric motor torque that absolutely helps, and the single clutch automated manual that helps, but it's not a sports car. It shouldn't have throttle response this good. So, good job, Toyota. But let's see what it does on a 0 to 60. I'm gonna do drive, sport mode, traction control off, and just mat it. Yeah, this car has no problem getting out of its own way. Now, because I'm an idiot and I forgot to bring my testing equipment, I actually left it in the TRD Pro Sequoia from a few weeks ago, I will put an overlay right here of what that time was, just using editing in post. To say that I've enjoyed my weekend in the Crown Platinum would frankly be a gross and disgusting understatement. Not only does it provide a basically effortless sensory deprivation experience while going on the city and on the highway and just going about daily tasks, but it is also incredibly entertaining to drive. Now, I'm not gonna fool anyone in thinking this is a M5 competitor or even an M540 competitor. It's not. But it is a fantastic car that I think does what it was designed to do very, very well. And honestly, if you're looking for a luxury sedan that does have an entertainment factor to it, I would seriously consider this one, because I don't think it's going to be around much longer for two reasons. Sedans aren't selling, and it's wearing a Toyota badge. It's not wearing a Lexus badge. But that said, I will see you guys in the final thoughts where I wrap up this whole video.
Final thoughts on the new Crown Platinum. This is a fantastic vehicle and probably one of the nicest Toyotas that I've driven in a very, very long time. And yes, even nicer than the truck I have behind me. Its main con is its awkward position in the market and the fact that the demand and market for luxury sedans is ever shrinking. But outside of that, it has a fantastic powertrain that is fun to drive, it is comfortable, it is quiet, it is pretty much all the things that you could ever want out of a premium luxury sedan. So that said, if you're willing to lay down your pride and own a vehicle with a Toyota badge and aren't looking to break the bank for a premium luxury vehicle, I think this is a fantastic option for you. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe because I've got that review coming next. Take care and have a great day. Adios.